What's up, everybody? Brett here. It's Friday. You know what that means. It's time for another dev blog. This time it's dev blog number 141. Holy War. The headline says it all. And before we start speculating and getting into craziness town, I'm super excited. Let's go ahead and just read. Let's read. I haven't read anything yet. I don't know anything more than you. So let's check it out together. So the upcoming Blazing Deserts DLC will introduce a new late game crisis. Excellent. It's what we were expecting. I think a lot of us were expecting a Holy War late game crisis to the mix. This week, we're taking a closer look at what this crisis is about and what it adds to the game, to ARMS. Adding things like crises to the game is a great way to kind of exponentially expand the potential for different narratives, the potential for different outcomes. It's such a I'm not going to say it's easy to add something like a late game crisis to the game because there's definitely a lot of writing and there's some other things that go into it. But of all the ways that there is to expand upon a game, and we're talking about Battle Brothers. Let's use Battle Brothers as an example. Adding a single late game crisis, adding 2 new company origins, right? Adding 10 different new weapons, right? These are not huge numbers we're talking about. Of course, I don't want to minimize the amount of work that goes into those types of things. But what we're talking about here are relatively small numbers of additions that, if you're doing math, right, and you're doing multiplication and you're doing it with a 4 instead of a 3, right? That not exponentially, but it greatly increases the amount of variance. The longer the math problem gets, that the difference between the 3 and the 4 really starts to make a huge difference, right? And that's kind of what we're starting to see. You take all these additions that we're dealing with, maybe 15 different new enemy types, 10 different new backgrounds. There's all these different things that are being added in small numbers, but they add up to an incredible addition that will add, I think, a ton of variance and extra storytelling to this game. So, all right, I just wanted to get that out of the way. That's kind of the nerd part in me that loves to think about these types of things, and how Battle Brothers is just one of those games where the platform itself is so solid that they could just keep adding like this for so far to the future that 5 years from now, honestly, they could still be making these types of quality DLCs. I would keep buying it, and I would keep playing Battle Brothers. It's so good. The foundation is just there for them to do whatever they want. So, Holy War. In a harsh world where every single day is a struggle for survival, where man is but prey to terrifying beasts that stalk the woods, to savage greenskins that cannot be reasoned with, and to horrors from beyond the grave, a man needs a powerful ally. The barbarians of the frozen wastes appeal to their dead ancestors to aid them in life. The people of the north pray to a pantheon of gods, often referred to as the old gods, for good harvest, health, and victory in battle. And the south believe in but a single true god, the Gilder, sometimes referred to as the new god, manifest in the sun, in whose shine they bask day in and out. The new late game crisis is about conflict between the religions of the north and the south, and called Holy War. Man, I'm getting amped up. This is some pretty cool art, by the way, too. Very cool. Man, I love stylistically what they're doing. As a mercenary, war means opportunity for profit, and this war is no different. As a holy war is declared, the fires of religious turmoil engulf the southern city-states on one side of the 2 southernmost noble houses on the other. Each faction offers contracts for you to aid them in their war efforts, and you're free to work for either side. Switch sides if the opportunity presents itself, or stay neutral. Interesting that you can switch sides without any kind of penalties. Like the war between noble houses, the crisis will bring misery and economic disaster to a part of the world, but it will not outright threaten to exterminate it, like a crisis with greenskins or undead do. Playing through the crisis will allow you to learn more about the pantheon of the old gods in the Gilder, as well as the history of the world of Battle Brothers. I've been wanting this for a long time. Not everybody cares about lore in video games. Honestly, I pity you. I pity in games that have no lore, yeah, don't care about the lore. Or in games that have terrible lore, yeah, ignore the lore. Battle Brothers is one of those games that up until now has had very surface level lore that kind of hints at something that could be deeper if it were ever expanded upon. I am super happy to see that seems to be something that they are doing. This location here is very interesting as I look at it. what we know already about some of the mysterious lore, it's very, is it Mount Vesuvius I'm thinking of? So, man, I don't want to get too much into it. If you play Battle Brothers, you already know what I'm talking about. Your dreams as the Emperor, and your great empire kind of being engulfed by a great volcano. I think this is it. I think this is the place where your dreams happen. And if going along with if they're able to tie a late game crisis, which is, a major kind of narrative device for Battle Brothers, if they're able to use that to also tie into the lore of the game, which is something, in my opinion, they probably should have done the entire time, and it kind of does, but kind of doesn't, right? There's no real story being told during a Greenskin invasion. But if they're able to now tie this holy war into more backstory, more history, more understanding about why you're having these dreams, why you have all these weird interactions with the ancient dead, I'm very excited to see. This looks like a new legendary location to me. And yeah, I can't wait to see what that is. Very cool art also. A major objective during the Holy War is access to and control. Okay, they're gonna give me the info right now. Control of 3 holy sites that date back to the era of the ancient empire and a shared history of North and South. They all hold religious and cultural significance to both sides and are the destination of pilgrimages, if for different reasons. One of them, for example, a large meteorite, is believed by the Northerners to be an imprisoned god, expelled by his own kind, while Southerners believe it a teardrop of the Gilder. It's probably just a meteorite, As the war is ongoing, you'll be tasked both to conquer and defend those sites, as well as other places of strategic importance. Siding with the North, you'll face armies of the city-states in battle with terrifying war machines for a fresh challenge. So they'll have those mortars we've looked at before. Oh, wow. Look how cool. Awesome. Man, this really reminds me of the... Yeah, I don't want to get this wrong. I believe it's Mecca, where they have the stone, and people kind of walk up and kiss it. And I think it's believed to be a meteorite. I don't remember if it was ever tested, but I think it's in Mecca. Yeah, I don't want to get religious stuff wrong for people out there who care really care about that sort of thing. But I believe it's the meteorite embedded in the corner of that kind of large stone pillar that people walk around, and you take turns. I think you used to be able to kiss it. I think maybe someone tried to blow it up or something like that a while back. And now maybe they're not letting people get close. Perhaps with the coronavirus also, they're not letting people kiss it. But that's what this location kind of reminds me of. Yeah, that's insane. So it's a meteorite with like a hole in it that you can go inside of. That's insane. I really wonder what the lore will be. Man, this has really creepy vibes. It's got like this sunken temple built around it, with a meteorite impact crater. I wonder if there's a storyline where you go inside and you see some old god or something. That would be insane. The conflict will be proclaimed to be about irreconcilable differences in religion, but it is just as much about differences in culture, about grabbing land and gaining wealth, and about pride and prestige, all thinly veiled behind religious dogma to rally the masses. As a mercenary, you'll be in a unique position to make up your own mind or dive deep into the madness that is the holy war yourself. So guys, like I said already, it seems to me like they're putting more emphasis on the lore, and I'm all about it. I want as much lore for Battle Brothers as I can get. Okay, just a quick Google search. It's called, I guess in English it's referred to as the Blackstone. It is in Mecca, so I was right. I think the word I was trying to look for, let's see, it's a rock set into the eastern corner of the Kaaba, the ancient building in the center of the Grand Mosque in Mecca, Saudi Arabia. So it's kind of a cool image. They drape that building in like a curtain. It's really beautiful. And then they surround it with what I would assume is silver. Yeah. Definitely look it up if you can, because that's super what it's reminding me of. And this, of course, is reminding me of Mount Vesuvius. Or Vesuvius or Pompeii. I'm getting confused. I'm getting my volcanoes. Is Mount Vesuvius in Pompeii? Is that what I'm getting confused? Guys, I haven't learned these things in a long time. Let's see, Mount Vesuvius. I'm all about the facts here. Let's get the facts. Mount Vesuvius is definitely in Italy. That makes sense. Anyway, guys, I think this is awesome. I think this is a huge step forward in the right direction. I'm happy. I didn't expect to get lore stuff today tied in. I figured the Holy War would be like a lot of the other late game crises, where it's more of a surface level. This guy hates this guy. We'll give you a contract to go over here and do this. We'll give you this contract to go do that. And in the end of the day, it just ends up you fighting everybody, picking a side and fighting. But what it seems like, the idea of protecting holy sites, maybe getting some benefit from it, maybe getting some unique lore from it, is very cool to me. Terrifying war machines, we'll get a chance to face those and figure out how to do that. Some of this stuff, some of the new additions to the game, honestly, if I'm really being honest with you guys, like the war machines, like the grenades, like the rudimentary firearms, and some of the monsters even that, what's this thing called? I think they called it an Ifrit, which is kind of weird to me. I always think of fire when I think of an Ifrit, but it's a big stone golem dude. Some of these new things that they're adding, to me, feel really strong. And I'm a bit worried about balance. And, I don't really enjoy playing on the hardest difficulties anyway, because it just becomes a slog where I can't do what I want, and I have to, hide, and, I don't like that. I like to be able to boldly go into fights feeling like I have a chance, and if I lose a guy, it's because of my own mistake, not because, of the difficulty itself. I like to be able to pick and choose my fights. But some of these things may have so much killing power, like the war machines, that I'm worried that even with good strategy, I may not be able to protect my brothers from that kind of ranged aggression. One of the most annoying units to fight against in the game is the Ancient Priest, or the, not so much the Goblin Shaman. The Ancient Priest, because the Miasma is an AoE that deals damage. And in Battle Brothers, once you get locked into a fight, you're locked in, usually, unless you're winning. But in a big fight, you get locked down, your whole front line gets locked down, and you just take damage over time. And you just have to hope you have a big enough HP pool. Some people don't even like to build HP. I do. I build a good bit of HP on my frontliners. But the point is that you start adding all of these AoE, long-range types of units to the game, and I'm worried maybe even that my own specific playstyle could be under threat. I'm hoping that we're going to be able to develop a way to deal with ranged threats better than just making sure that I have 5 warbows on my team, right? So that I can always out-snipe them and they can't out-snipe me or something like that. I'm sure we'll figure it out together. That's going to be the fun of the whole thing. But yeah, thinking about war machines and things like that also has me a bit worried. But guys, now I'm just rambling. I'm having fun talking about this. I'm having fun thinking about it. I love that there's a new late game crisis. And yeah, let's hope that in the next update, as I've been saying for every update, I'd love to get a release date so we can start doing a countdown and looking forward to playing. But without any further ado, y'all, my name is Brett. My channel is Goodtalk Gaming. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Like and subscribe. That stuff helps me out a ton. Anyway, y'all, later.